Right pips, here we are again. It's a little multi-level workout, same as usual. Making sure that you're working at your own pace. Take the option that suits you better. Have a rest if you need the rest. Stretch. Stay longer onto the exercise if you feel that you're benefiting it out of it, and then it's something that is working for you. Just making sure that you're not straining yourself. So making sure that you've done your warm-up standing using one of the other videos, so you're nice and warm now. Shoulders, back, hips and knees. Are setting yourself up on all fours. The hands are directly below the shoulders. Are the shoulders in line with the hips? The hips are directly above the knees. So think of a nice flat surface. Your back is like a table. You're trying to rest a nice tray of glasses on top of that table. Maintaining that alignment through, I'm going to start focusing on the belly. I'm going to take a deep breath in, and then as I breathe out, I'm just going to draw the belly in gently. What I want is just a gentle tension coming from the front of the abdomen, pulling up and towards the inside, not holding the breath or any movement, any flexion into the back. So if I show the belly, so I'm going to inhale, I'm going to let the belly expand, and then as I exhale, I'm going to draw it in, draw it up. It's not exaggeration, I can still breathe here. And then I'm going to exhale, draw it in, draw it up. So the back is perfectly still. I'm not going into flexion, I'm not moving the shoulders, I'm not moving the hips. So maintaining that gentle tension going on and off. Let's see if I can get control of that squeeze. Let's see if I can control of that tension through. If I feel that that feels quite comfortable, then I'm going to start adding a little extra challenge. So on the next one, as I draw the belly in, I'm going to try and take the weight off one of my knees. So at the moment there is no weight going into my right knee. My hips have not moved, the pelvis is not twisted, the bum is not shifted side or to the other side. Then I'm going to draw up into the belly and then see if I can try and take the pressure off the other knee. So it's no weight going into my left knee, my hips have not rotated, the bum has not gone up. So think of the smallest movement you can possibly go for. So I'm going to pull up from one side and then release, and then pull up from the other side and release, making sure that the neck is long, the shoulders are still back and down, the head is in line with the shoulders. So I'm happy here, I feel comfortable here. I'm just going to stay here. If I feel that I can progress it a step further, then this time I'm going to try and pull up on both knees. So I'm going to take a deep breath in, let the belly expand out. As I breathe out, I'm going to draw in, draw up from the belly, and then trying to peel both knees away. Then I'm going to ease them back, and then I'm going to try again. So see if you can be aware of a stronger tension that comes up through the front of the thighs into the front of the belly, encouraging that lift. The tendency, if that chain is a bit weaker, is to put more weight into the arms. So the tendency is to go forward into the wrists. See if you can try and be aware of the tension staying down into the belly and into the hips. So there is a place for going forward, but at the moment we're just trying to focus on the bottom half. So I'm going to just draw up from the belly, pull up one knee, or if I've got the strength, if I feel that I've got enough control, I'm going to pull both and then easing back. If you feel that what's preventing you from lifting double, it's your ankle joint is a bit too stiff, it's a bit too tight, you can do the same thing, tucking the toes under, so pulling up from there. Just to be aware that with the toes tucked under, the tendency is to lift too high. The higher I lift it, the more the weight goes into the shoulders, so it's the upper body that is doing the work. I want the tension to stay in the belly, in the hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, then on the next one I'm going to hold it. So holding up into the belly if you're just working through the abdomen, keeping the tension to pull one knee off the ground if you're letting one knee hover, letting both knees hover, holding them there. 3, 2, 1, easing back. If you're working single leg, peeling the other knee away. If you're going double knees, pulling both knees. If you're pulling up through the belly, just lifting through the belly. So I'm going to pull up and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Pushing back into shell, unloading the wrist, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the back. So there's a little bit more activation. I can feel those deep abdominals connecting. I can feel that the breath is still there. So I'm not suddenly panic breathing, bringing into the top of the chest or into the neck, into the throat. I'm going to change the effort. What I want is the same, but on the side. So a little bit more connection into the obliques. So lowering yourself all the way down. Rolling over onto the side. The head is resting onto the arm. If that doesn't work for you, using a block, towel, jumper under the head and just popping the head on top to support it. I'm going to bend the knees and then bring the legs slightly forward to the body line. It doesn't need to be any particular position, just so think of the pressure being down the side of the leg, not into the great trochanter, not into the hip bone. So I'm not digging the hip into the ground. It doesn't feel uncomfortable to lie here. Should be feeling quite comfortable. And then same as before, if I show you what I mean using my belly, if the belly relaxes, if this bit collapses, then I'll look like that. So the top side is shortening, the bottom is lengthening, in a way I'm a bit sagging down. What I want is trying to create a lift between the rib cage, the waist and the floor. I'm not pushing with the arms, so I'm not trying to lift all of the rib cage. I'm just trying to draw up from the side and the front of the belly this time, see if I can create a gentle tension underneath. Then I'm going to release, and then I'm going to try again. So I'm going to draw up from the side, draw in from the front, and then I'm going to release back. And then again, up from the side, in from the front, and then releasing back. So imagine your back to be going curve as you relax into the mat. So it's rounding and sagging towards the floor, and then I'm trying to straighten it as I actively pull from the side and the front of the belly, and then I'm going to drop again. So I'm going to pull up, and then I'm going to ease back. Same as before, if I feel comfortable enough here and I want to progress the movement, then I'm going to try load it a little bit. So on the next one, I'm going to pull up from the side, and then as I do so, I'm going to reach away the top leg. I'm going to stretch it as far as I possibly can, and then I'm going to ease everything back. Then again, pulling up from the side, pulling up from the front, reaching the leg out of the hip socket as far as you can, and then I'm going to ease my way back, release the leg down. And then again, I'm going to reach, pull the leg long, see if you can think of the leg nice and level to the hip, nice and parallel to the ground, and then return it back. 4. And back. 5. And back. 6. 7. 8. 9. Side of the hip might start feeling tired, feeling fatigued. Don't let the leg flop. Last one, I'm going to reach it out to hold it. If you're reaching with the leg, keeping the leg there into that pull. If you're just lifting from the waist, to see if you can maintain that lift from the side or from the front to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Letting the knees lean forward, giving the hip a little tap, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. I'm going to try exactly the same thing to the other side. So swinging the legs to the front, pushing yourself up into sitting, taking the legs straight down the other way. And then I'm going to set the position on the other side. So the head is supported, the knees I'm just going to bend, bring the legs slightly forward, making sure that the pressure is down the side of the thigh, so the hip is not grinding, is not creating pain or discomfort. I'm going to start with the knees bent, and then same as I did on the other side, to see if I can try and create that little gap underneath the side. So I'm going to pull up from the side, pull up from the front to see if I can create that little lift, and then I'm going to drop. And then again I'm going to lift, and then I'm going to drop. So noticing any difference between this side and the other, I might find that on this side I can feel a better connection. I feel that tension, it's working a little bit more. Or I might find that I'm really struggling to get that lift going, to get that tension in the right place. Just to try and just giving yourself a little bit more time. Think of the top hip trying to almost like reach away from you. So I'm trying to lengthen the top side of the waist and then lift from underneath and then coming back. Same as before, making sure that I'm not pushing with the arm to try and come up. It's not the all of the body, it's just the bottom half, is just from the waist down. And then once that I'm happy that I've got the movement, if I'm comfortable enough here, I'm going to stay here. If I feel that I can progress, then I'm going to load with the legs. So the next one, as the waist pulls, I'm going to reach the leg nice and long, and then I'm going to ease back, and then reach it long, and then easing back, and then reaching long, and then easing back. Same as on the other leg. See if you can keep the leg nice and long. See if you can keep that leg nice and straight, and making sure that you're lengthening away. The hip is okay with the load. If it starts fatiguing, if the leg starts getting a little bit too heavy, then I'm just going to have a little rest and then see if I can go back into that lift from the side of the waist. So extend and pull. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, I'm going to hold it, reach it long, keep it lifted, side of the waist off the ground. If I'm just working on the side, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Letting the knees slip forward, giving the hip a little tap, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. It's just a little bit more activation through the side of the hip and the side of the waist. So I can feel that corset closing through the middle a little bit better, a little bit more. I'm going to change the position and then see if I can use it to support me from here. So setting the back in neutral, the lower back is nice and soft, the ribs are nice and soft too, so making sure that they don't start flaring, they don't start sticking out. If the rib flares, it's because the back is arching, so making sure that the ribs are staying down. I'm trying to keep the connection at the top, at the bottom of the belly. I want the body to stay nice and still, just the legs and the upper body moving. I'm going to connect through the center, and then lifting the right leg up into tabletop. I'm going to hold the leg there. If I feel safe and comfortable doing so, then I'll pick up the left leg too. So one or both legs lifted. If 2 legs become too much, I'm just going to pop the left down, keep the right raised, and then halfway I'll swap for the other side. So one or both legs are up. I'm going to raise the arms up to the ceiling, controlling the weight of the leg using the hip and the front of the abdomen. I'm going to take a deep breath in. As I breathe out, I'm going to start reaching the arms behind. As the arms reach to the back, see if you can be aware of the rib cage. Can you make sure that you're not taking the rib cage with you? So the back is not suddenly arching, the chest is not suddenly popping up, the rib cage is not flaring. See if I can maintain that tension at the top of the belly, see if I can hold the rib cage down. So it doesn't matter if the arms can't reach very far, what I want is to keep the connection at the top of the belly. I'm going to ease the arms back, and then I'm going to try again. 2. And coming back. 3.
working with a single leg, swapping for the other side. If you're holding double, making sure that you're still holding sharp, the legs are not flopping, they're not sagging, I'm not pulling them towards me, I can still feel the weight of the legs are there. 2. Making sure that you're breathing, not holding the breath. Just trying to exhale the arms behind you. Inhale them back. 6. 7. 8. 9. Last one. And releasing back. Returning one leg, releasing the other if they're both lifted, extending the legs away, extending the arms away, stretching down the front of the belly, stretching down the front of the hips. This is a little bit more control with the legs loading in this position. I'm going to try and see if I can create a little bit more tension at the front of the belly. So instead of just the stability, I'm going to work on mobility too. So I want the belly to shorten and tighten at the same time. I'm going to change position to do so. Reaching forward into the arms, tilting the chin to the chest, lifting the head, lifting the shoulders, strong through the center, all the way back up to the top. Using the arms to help if you need to, rolling over onto the side and pushing if you know that you can't. As you get to the top, we're going to go back on all fours and then trying the same pull that we tried at the beginning. But this time I'm going to add a flexion to the pull. So I'm going to come up into cat. There you go. Rounding the back as much as I can. I'm going to maintain that lift and then I'm going to breathe into the belly. So I'm going to let the belly expand out on the inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to draw in as deep as I can. Then inhale, let it expand. Exhale, draw it in, draw it up. So same as you did on all fours. So see if you can this time maintain that arched position. So I'm not dropping and lifting, dropping and lifting. I'm holding the lift and then just trying to get the control through the abdominal wall. So I'm going to drop and pull it in. Think of that tension starting from the pubic bone like a zip coming up towards your breastbone. So see if I can try and zip everything up tight. And then staying there, keeping that lift going. If I feel that I've got a good control, then I'm going to try and add a challenge. So this time I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to do it quicker. So I'm going to pull up and 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 up. If you feel that you're losing control, it's normally when all of the body starts going up and down too. Go back to the slow control lift, and then from there, once that you've got that control, see if you can add a little bit more speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stronger. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tighter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back. Pushing back into shell, unloading the wrists, relaxing the arms, and relaxing the belly. So there's a little bit more connection, so I can feel the draw in as the belly is shortening. And to maintain that lift up, I'm going to try a similar connection, but working in reverse. So last time, I'm going to roll that down onto my back again. I'm going to curl this time, both knees into the chest. Rocking the legs forward and back a few times. until you feel that the back is flat against, the lower back is flat against the floor. I'm going to wrap both hands around the right knee, holding the right knee close to the chest. And then think of that tension at the front of the belly. So imagine to be creating that roundness and that scooping into the abdomen. So I'm going to draw in, draw up, and then I'm going to extend one leg away. See if you can still be aware of the belly drawing in, drawing up, or drawing down towards the ground if you prefer. Then I'm going to inhale, swap, exhale, and then I'm going to hug the other leg. In to swap, out to extend to the other side. In to swap, out to extend to the other way. So think of a slow controlled movement. If the movement is right, as the legs are swapping, the hips shouldn't be bouncing. So my back is not suddenly going up and down, my hips are not rocking all over the place, so the hips are staying still, the belly staying connected, I'm loading the weight of the leg. So the leg could be very high, it could be very low, it doesn't really matter as far as you feel that the tension is in the right place. If you don't feel tension, it's normally because you're arching. So see if I can really try to hold back on the pubic bone as if I was trying to pull my pubic bone up towards my breastbone. So I'm happy with the movement, I feel comfortable enough here, I don't need to change anything, I'm going to stay here. If I feel that I can progress, then I'm going to start focusing on the leg that is coming towards me more. With the opposite hand, I'm going to hook onto the knee. With the hand the same side as that leg, I'm going to try and reach down, see if I can try and touch the side of the foot, or as far down the foot as I can. And then I'm going to swap the same to the other side. Making sure that you're not twisting the leg to bring it to the foot. I'm trying to get my hand to the foot. So I'm trying to really curl the leg as close to the chest as possible. So making the abdominals work a little bit harder. I'm happy here, I feel comfortable here again. I don't need to change anything, I'm going to stay here. If I feel that I can step up a little bit more, then I'm going to lift the head and the shoulders off the ground. And then looking straight forward at the legs, making sure that my head is not there. There's massive SEM muscle tightening and stiffening to hold me up. Or see if I can tuck the chin in. And then looking at the legs as they're moving. See if I can try and reach down, trying to get to the foot. And then with the other hand, I'm just going to hook onto the knee. The belly tensing from the top to the bottom. 6. Still breathing. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1 more time. And releasing back. Lowering the feet down, extending the legs away, extending the arms away, stretching down the front of the belly, stretching down the front of the hips, giving the head a gentle roll, making sure that the neck doesn't feel too stiff, it doesn't feel too tight. Then when you're ready, bring the arms back by the side, reaching forward into the arms, tilting the chin to the chest, lifting the head, lifting the shoulders, strong through the center, all the way back up to the top. As you reach the top, finding a comfortable seated position, crossing the legs, opening, closing, whichever way works better for your hips and your lower back, sitting on a block or a towel if you feel that I'm a bit stiff, so I feel very uncomfortable sitting on the floor. I'm going to place one hand down by the side, scooping the other arm up and over. I'm going to flex to the side, see if I can create a nice stretch coming up the side of the waist, through the side of the rib cage, into the arm, all the way up into the hand. Making sure that you're not dropping forward, the arm is not falling, so I'm not closing and flopping down. See if I can maintain that lift, just to see if you can try and look up and towards the ceiling. So from underneath the arm, I'm going to try and turn and look at the ceiling above. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Using back, trying the other side, scooping the other arm, lifting up. See if I can again create that nice strong tension coming up the side of the body, Turning the head to look up to see if I can maintain that longer lift at the front. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Releasing all the way back, reaching the hands behind. Fingers pointing to the back, big fingers pointing towards you, whichever way around it feels more comfortable. I'm going to roll the shoulders back, so making sure that the shoulders are moving behind the rib cage. I'm going to lift to the top of the chest forward, and then I'm going to try and open up and lift across the front of the chest this time. If I feel that the stretch is still not too bad, I'm going to start shuffling the hips forward to see if I can try and make it a little bit stronger. And then I'm just going to, bit by bit, go further and further. Just be aware as the tendency is to flip the shoulders back, so it looks as if I can go very far. I can't feel anything on my shoulders other than my arm twisting. So making sure that the shoulders are able to stay back as I'm shuffling the hips forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back. Releasing the shoulders, releasing the arms, finding your comfortable seated position again, both arms together. I'm going to scoop them round, lift them up, and releasing back. And again, scoop them up, lift them up, release them back. Last time, round and lift as high as you can this time. Dropping the shoulders, one hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your breath. Give yourself a couple there. Any question or anything, please pop it onto the box or the comment box underneath. And then remember, we've got the live classes going at Sussex Physiotherapy. You will find everything on the description of the video. So I hope we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.